Jesus got his crown in front of a crowd. They march with the torch, we gon' run with it now. Never look back, we done gone hundreds of miles. From dark roads, heroes, to become a hero. Facing the league of justice, his power was the people. Enemy is lethal, a king became regal. Saw the face of Jim Crow under a bald ego. The biggest weapon is to stay peaceful. We sing, our music is the cuts that we bleed through. Somewhere in the dream we had an epiphany. Now we right the wrongs in history. No one can win a war individually. It takes the wisdom of the elders and young people's energy. Welcome to the story we call victory. The coming of the Lord. My eyes have seen the glory. One day, when the glory comes, it will be ours. It will be ours. Oh. Good morning, good morning, good morning. What a beautiful morning it is. Welcome to What's Really Happening. What's Really Happening? I'm your host, Michelle B. Patty.
John Green.
And as you can see, we have a podcast. Those of you that are on Facebook, you can tell your family and friend. They can go also to YouTube. And those of you that want to bless and make sure that this program that we keep getting better and better, then you can always cash out $ Michelle B. Patty. John, you want to say anything on that?
Well, this is a good thing for the community, and we try to do our best to bring you the information. And with your assistance and your donations, we can do a lot more within the community through Bishop Michelle Patty and myself. So join the team, because you know what you're going to get from what's really happening.
And John, I like that. Join the team, because this is a team effort to make our community a much better and safer place. It is a call-in show. The number here is 813-728-1522. Once again, that's 813-728-1522. We're going to be talking about a whole lot of things about the District 5 race. We know that Orlando Goose is out of the race. But we only just want to touch on one thing, and in the spirit of Councilwoman Gwendolyn Gwen Henderson. She always used to like to take things and make it a teaching moment. So we want to make it a teaching moment. I read his letter where he decided that he was getting out the race, but it was filled with a lot of untruths. But one thing, those of you that are running for office or aspiring to run for office, you need to know the rules. Now, he was not a novice. He had been a city council person. As a matter of fact, he knew the rules better than anyone, because he got caught out there doing the same thing he tried to do this time. And that was to falsify where he actually lived at. He was charged $13,000+ because he was reaping homestead exemption benefits when he lived in District 7 and not in District 5. For all this hee-hawing about, I thought if my body was here, I that's where I lived at. The rules are plain and simple. But what was taking place, and he had aspiration of running against the councilwoman, but unfortunately, she passed away, went to glory in an untimely manner. And so what he was doing, he was continuing to reap the benefit of homestead exemption, because you only have to be in the district 6 months previous to running. So he was going to wait. He was going to get all the homestead exemption, which would have been like a year and a half. And then he was going to change his residency and move into the district. Unfortunately, the plan, it changed, and then he had to hurry up and move. And I guess he thought that the community was not going to be looking, was not going to remember, or was not going to be wise enough to see what he was doing. And there was a huge backlash that came out of District 5, who said, oh no, you won't pull this same crap again. And then he wrote this whole letter, and we're not going to get into that. So that's just a teaching moment for those who want to run, because nobody's teaching and training people. So read the rules, understand the rules, but your integrity, your character is very important when you're asking folks to vote for you. And when people see that you just a liar, you're gonna lie, no matter what the situation, you're gonna lie about it, then hey, good riddance. But there's a lot of other folks in this race, John.
There's a lot, but let's just thank him for doing the right thing and withdrawing from the race, so that everybody would know and keep it pushing.
Well, John, you give him grace. I'm not giving any, because that wasn't doing the right thing when you knew you was doing wrong. That's like somebody go kill somebody. They robbing a bank. They killed the person. Now, I'm gonna turn myself in, but that person is dead and they can't come back alive. So you give him some grace.
Yeah.
I'm not giving it to him because he knew the rules, and that's what is unfortunate. And we see it all the way in Washington. People are willing to close their eyes, turn a deaf ear, a blind eye to blatant disrespect for the law, disrespect for the rules, and I'm just not going to go there.
And disrespect for the people.
But definitely disrespect for the people. So that's why I'm not going there. If he was a first-time candidate and he didn't know, then it would be appropriate to say, okay, once he found out, then he withdrew. But he knew because he was fined and he paid the $13,000+. So that's what happened on that end. Now, we want to thank, it's not Cabin Auto Body Shop anymore. It's CBS Solutions out in Port Tampa that is have the auto body shop. And also, we want to thank Attorney Thomas Purnell. Attorney Thomas Purnell, we're going to be doing a show with him real soon, because there's a lot of things that's happening out here with car accidents and people being taken advantage of. They having runners that's running up in your hospital room. They're doing a lot of stuff, and it's illegal, people, and they're selling your cases for pennies on the dollars. And when you find out, oops, it's too late. I had a young lady call me. She was crying. She was upset because a friend of hers had referred her to this guy, and it's some big money that's on the table. And guess what? That he will not give her a breakdown of what her expenses are before she sign off on, getting that check. So because once you sign, then you in agreement with that settlement, and then there's nothing you can do about it. So I told her no, she had every right to see where her money's went before she signed it, because after, there's nothing you can do. And she said the man wasn't even returning her phone call, wouldn't do anything. Well, you don't have that problem with Attorney Thomas Purnell. He's at 813-975-4444. There's a breakdown where every dollar goes, who received what. And what I like about him, he's very gracious. There's sometimes, unfortunate, people don't have insurance, and so they don't have their PIP. They've been injured, but your PIP, personal injury protection insurance, pay for you to go to the doctor, your own, for you yourself to go to the doctor. And some people don't have that. Guess what? When that client, who should have had the insurance, they've even cut their bills back to make sure that the client receives money. And that's what I like about Attorney Thomas Purnell and his staff over there. And of course, you can call me 7 days a week. That's Michelle B. Patty at 813-495-3702 if you've been in that car accident. That's Michelle B. Patty, 813-495-3702. Something that happened Tuesday, and we are still walking on cloud nine. We were very elated about it. I think we have a caller. Okay, we got all right. Caller, you can call back. The number is 813-728-1522. We went down to the Hillsborough County School Board, where the board voted unanimously to name the auditorium at Jefferson High School after the late Councilwoman Gwendolyn Gwen Henderson. Now, I don't know. I'm just still a little puzzled about some of our leadership in this community, and it's unfortunate that the media seek these people out. But the president of the NAACP, Yvette Lewis, was not in attendance, did not come, did not say anything. But I do know personally her dislike for the late councilwoman. But still, as the leader of this organization, you would think that she would have had some kind of character about herself, some kind of integrity about herself, and she would have showed up. But nevertheless, it passed, and every board member checked off on it.
Well, I mean, here we are again, talking about leadership,
Leadership.
right?
Mm-hmm.
In our community,
Mm.
right? And it's like, okay, let's all come together. And I always say, I had started saying, using this quote a couple months ago, the Black community is not a community of people. It's a community of groups, right?
Mm-hmm.
Regardless of the division, right? And I know some people were talking about, coming together and all this, and they talked about and how the leadership pretty much says if you have experience or if you don't have experience. But here we are. This is death, right? Of a sure enough get the work done trailblazer who was doing stuff in the community that benefit everybody, whether you liked it or not, right? And for the NAACP, as I always say, for it to have a voice in the community, it's easier to go stand in front of a news channel and talk about her, but not come down just to represent or to show your own people how much of a leader you are to step up regardless of any type of animosity whatsoever. You can't even show your own people that you in leadership to even show up, right? To say that, yeah, I'm here. I may not like what she did, but I'm here to, so, just.
But you know what? You know why some people can't do that, John? Because what did she do? Somebody might say you don't like her for what? Because she was a critical thinker, because she did her homework, because she didn't go along to get along, because she investigated things before she voted on, because she had a conscience about doing the right thing. And Yvette Lewis have a problem, I know personally, about strong Black women who could stand up and speak power to truth or truth to power, however you want to put it. So even when at her demise, and the media, unfortunate, they go to her because she is the representative of this community, of the NAACP. But she didn't even have anything nice to say then. We're gonna go to this caller. Good morning, caller. You say what's really happening. Good morning.
Good morning. How are you?
We are blessed and highly favored this morning. Good morning.
Good morning. This is Pamela Robinson with Aaron's House.
Good morning, Pamela. How you doing?
I'm doing just all is well.
Great.
We're getting ready for this fashion show, and you know how we're rushing around, but it's gonna be amazing tomorrow.
Yes, ma'am. Can you give us a little bit, first of all, time and location of the fashion show and what is it's a benefit? And we want to say applaud you for us continuing on. Y'all doing Aaron's House has been out there. You have a strong track record of helping people. So please give us the time, date, and location.
Okay, the time is Sunday, July 13th, tomorrow. Doors open at 4, but the show starts at exactly 5 p.m.
Oh.
And it's going to be at the Strad Center, downtown Tampa.
Okay.
And tickets are still on sale. They're going fast. And listeners, you better go and get them. You don't want to miss this.
How can they get the ticket? Where can they go at to get the ticket?
They can go to runwaynoir.com, runwaynoir.com.
And what is this benefit for? Come on, don't be so shy. What is the Aaron House about? What is the benefit going to do? Because it's a worthwhile cause, and as we see, there is mental health issues in the world. So go ahead, talk about Aaron House a little bit.
So Aaron's House is an organization that gives support to caregivers of people with mental health diagnoses. It does not matter what the diagnosis is. It could be bipolar, schizophrenia, autism, any type of mental illness that a person has, and a caregiver take care of that person. We will take care of the caregiver. We support the caregiver in various ways. We provide resources. We provide respite. Oftentimes, caregivers need to get away just for a break, a breather. We provide education, counseling, support groups that are facilitated by mental health specialists. And more importantly, Michelle, is that we provide compassion. Because it's nothing like having someone with a mental illness and you have to care for that person 24/7. And it's taxing on a person, it's stressful. And that's why we take care of people, we take care of the caregivers.
And what's
the
up?
benefits tomorrow the proceeds will benefit Aaron's House and Runway Noir.
And what's a phone number? You know, a lot of people old school like me, they might want to reach out by telephone. You have a phone number you could give out to the audience?
I do. 813-732-1180. And those calls are monitored 24/7.
Wow.
Again, 813-732-1180.
So, and you know what people don't understand about being a caregiver, and so this is double if you're dealing with someone with mental challenges. If you're just a caregiver, period, and we know with all the cuts that just take with this big beautiful bill, there's going to be more and more people that are going to have to take care of their loved ones, the family members, a cousin, a next door neighbor, and so I am applauding. How long has Aaron House been around? How long have you all been in existence?
Aaron's House has been around 8.5 years. And I started the foundation, Michelle, after my son, Aaron, passed away. Aaron was diagnosed with bipolar disorder at the age of 18, and he passed away at the age of 30. And he was diagnosed back in 2000. And back in 2000, people weren't talking about mental illness like they are now. So we were so lost, his family. And that's why I created Aaron's House as a roadmap for those coming behind us, so that they won't have to stumble around and navigate the mental health system, and so that they won't feel alone, because it's a lonely place when you have a loved one that's ill. You feel so lonesome. But Aaron's House wants all caregivers to know that they are never alone. Just call that number and you'll have a friend, and as well as support.
And you know, that is so beautiful that you took your grief and you turned it into compassion for others, because unfortunately you went through the trauma, but you found out through the trauma that if you were alone, how many others? Now, see, this is what I love about some people and our people. This was stepping up to leadership, saying, "Hey, look." Because she could have just shut down. Y'all, the family could have shut down. So we applaud you all. But you looked around, you say there was no one there for me, but I will be there for them. In 8.5 years, we want to commend you and applaud you. So on tomorrow evening, John, are you going to go?
Yes,
are we going to be there?
Yes.
We gotta be there. Go ahead.
About your services now, are the services that you offer, is it free, or how does it work, or how can people apply?
The services are actually free, and we get our funding through having events like we're having tomorrow.
Okay.
Wow, that is awesome. And then you're at the beautiful Strass. Now, I'd seen that they were doing some work around the Strass. Are you still able to do the VIP parking, or do y'all know, is parking going to be an issue, or what's going on?
Well, parking, there's two major parking garages.
Okay.
And there's parking on the streets right near the Strass, one across the street, and the pole across from the library.
Okay.
The whole parking garage.
So folks,
there's plenty of parking, but we would ask that the attendees kind of let me see how I want to say this nicely. This is not Aaron's House thing, so we're going to start at exactly 5 because we're at the Strass Center. So give yourself enough time to come down and get parking. And doors open at 4.
okay.
There will be vendors, and it's just going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of energy, and not to mention the show. Oh my God, the show has been described as where fashion meets Broadway. It's not a typical, let me show you my outfit. I mean, you will be wowed when you attend this fashion show.
Well, I'm getting excited already. I'm just trying to figure out what am I going to wear to this event. But this sounds awesome, and I'm glad you pointed out We can't be on CP time, and y'all know what that means. When you at these facilities, you have to start on time, and they have a shutdown time. And if you don't, then they would be wanting to charge you extra and all of this. So people, be on time so you don't miss anything, any part of this show. So I'm looking at Deacon Patty. I'm gonna see if I can twist his arm to come on down. John, we're gonna be there, and also Ariel Danley told me she was gonna be there.
Right.
So we gonna bring the group down there. People, please, we always saying there's nobody to help us, nobody out here want to do anything. Let's be supportive of one another. So you could go give them once again how they can get that ticket, and the doors open tomorrow at 4 p.m. It's at the Strad Center, and it's just a nice evening to get out and be in air conditioned. So once again, thank you so much, and God bless you. But go ahead, we're gonna give out that number one more time, how they can go get that ticket. Where can they go? You say Eventbrite?
No, not Eventbrite, but www.runway, and I spell it RUNWAYNOIR.com. Runway Noir.
Okay, and then all right, so that's where they can get the ticket, or you could call. Give the phone number once again.
813-732-1180.
Well, thank you so much for calling in with that information. We look forward to seeing you, and we're gonna ask our audience to please pass the word and come on down tomorrow, which is Sunday afternoon at doors open at 4. Program start promptly at 5 p.m. And God bless you. And we certainly thank you, because we are caregivers here, and we know the challenges of, just like she said, just getting a breather to get away for a minute. My mom listens, so we're not talking about you. But anyway, thank you so much now.
Thank you so much for having me. You all have a blessed day.
You too. Thank you.
God bless you. But yes, so that's awesome. And especially people, she's saying with mental challenge. I mean, that's a job. So we got now, folks, once again, so please get down. That's Aaron House. They're putting on extravaganza tomorrow afternoon. Now, the La Casetta came out on yesterday, and they talked about some of these candidates. Right now, they're saying it's about 10 people in this race, and they felt that the community should know that there are 10 candidates are registered. Republican are Ardette Bruce. She's a Republican. Elvis Piggott is a Republican.
Elvis is a Republican?
Yes, Elvis changed his from a Democrat to Republican when he got in the school board race to run against Shake Washington. He became a Republican. And is it Melanie Williams? She is a Republican. So you have 3 Republicans in this race. Now, how she's pronounced? Joanna Corbett is non-affiliate. They say she has no party affiliation. And the remaining 6 candidates are Ariel Danley, Thomas DeGeorge, Ashley Dewey, Thomas Scott, Fran Tate, and Anaya Young. Those are your Democrats that's in the race.
What about Allison?
Allison Hewitt just jumped. Well, she wasn't. When he did this, she wasn't in the race. So those are the people that are. No, they're not officially, but these are the people that 11 people are on the road to be in this race for District 5. But until they qualify, they are not officially candidates until they qualify. So that would be in August that they will qualify to be in this race. But let's talk about that. I want to go back to the NAACP. They have a form, and I'm hearing that they've already sent out some information. But I find it quite biased to say, okay, we having this form, and candidates, you come out when you were just on the news, Channel 8 News, from what I'm being told, saying that, we need somebody who's already, who's experienced, who's already been there. Well, this community, they know the relationship with Bishop Thomas Scott and Yvette Lewis, and if you're getting on the news saying, "Oh, we need to have somebody who's already experienced and been there," you just told them who that the NAACP is endorsing Bishop Thomas Scott.
Right.
But this is what bothers me about our people, and I'm talking, and I can say our people because I'm black. You black.
Of course.
Why do people like the president of the NAACP think that people are so, I don't, silly? I don't know what word I'm looking for, but why do you think that they don't have the wherewithal to see the minutia that is going on? Yvette, people see who you are. They see the game that y'all trying to play. You're trying to play on the intelligence. That's what I'm looking. You want to play on the intelligence of the people of District 5. Stop it. That's old school. You have a lot of brand new people who are educated and hip to this kind of foolishness. And even the old school has woken up to the fact that it's no more business as usual.
Right. And we finding that out by knocking on doors.
Yes.
You know, that, I mean, plenty door. I'm talking about not only with blacks, but whites and Hispanics. Right. And it's like, it's interesting to me because I haven't been out there in a while, but doing it now, I'm realizing how much people really is thirsting for change. Right.
Yes.
And to talk about, you know, by her going on the news saying that we need somebody experienced. I just posted yesterday when and let me say this first of all, to all the elders, we're not challenging you as a person, right? We challenging what the new school is challenging is your traditions and philosophies and ideologies. That's what we're challenging because we don't have a chance. The young people would never have a chance if we don't challenge the traditions. Like I had, before I made my change, I had to think about what I was raised with.
Mm-hmm.
Don't walk across, don't split the pole. Don't
step on the crack.
Yeah. Don't put your purse on the floor. Don't let nobody sweep your foot. Well, I started sweeping my foot. I started splitting the poles. I started walking past black cats. 60 years later, I'm still here. You know what I mean? So we have to look at reality at some point in time in our life. It got to be reality. So that's what we need to do. So I just had to make that share that part because we are challenging
but
the
you
traditions.
Know, even Bishop Scott, he was a novelist the first time he got in his seat. But to that point, I think the community now is saying, why would we turn the page backwards when he had 8 years and he actually co-signed on the condition that District 5 is in? Because when you sat in that seat for 8 years, and here it is, we talking about things 20 years later, and you had more of an opportunity to get things changed and done when things was much easier, much cheaper. We didn't have the Republican Party to fight like we're fighting now, that's taking away benefits, taking away things from the community. You had an opportunity to make District 5 better. So why would people allow you to come back? For what? What did you do while you was there? And if you had accomplished stuff, they wouldn't be in the condition they're in.
And you know, I was thinking about, I'm looking at this pastor who's in the black community, and I posted this earlier this week, who's in the black community, right? Who's coming out again, right? In a time where it's an opportunity. And I heard that he had his kickoff at the Columbia, and nothing against the Columbia restaurant or museum or whatever. He has it at the museum,
the
right?
museum next door.
So you know, if he knows his reputation is already bad in the community, why couldn't you go to a black establishment, being that you are a black pastor preaching to a black congregation in the black community and soliciting black votes? Not saying that other votes is not important, right? But here you are calling yourself a leader in the black community and giving advice but you go to a Columbia museum when you could have went to 7th and Grove. You could have went to
and let's stop right there on 7th and Grove, which is a Black owned
own
establishment. And we want to give kudos to Ariel Danley, who is having her event on July the 22nd. Now, it just happened to coincide with my birthday, July the 22nd. My birthday will be on that day. But she's having her event at a Black owned establishment, 7th and Grove. So that's just about a few blocks away from here at the museum. But you look at, this is what the community have to watch and look at these days, is how people they're overlooking us. They're not doing business with us. And you like by now, Scott would be saying, I'm going to make an effort to do, like you say, business with his own people. And that is not taking place. He over there. So who he's really going to represent? Let's talk about where money's coming from. Where is his money coming from?
Well, I'm playing around on the supervisor election website, and I'm filling my way through the data, learning how to research and use the system. But his money so far, he only put up $500, and it came from Georgia and somewhere else.
Okay, right. And we see his endorsement, Chad Chronister. We see Janet Cruz. You look at these people, and those folks that's endorsed. Go ahead.
Well, let me be surprised specific of where his money have come from so far. One donor came from Atlanta, Georgia, and the other one came from Columbus, Ohio.
Okay, so that was just his first report. Now, what we're going to do is keep our eye on the rest of the reports that's coming in. But at the end of the day, it's time for a change, people. It's time for us to pass the baton. I am so in awe of young people that's getting involved, because people, seasoned people such as myself, we know that our time is limited, is running out. And if we don't pass the baton, then who's going to be left to keep the movement going? Who's going to be in position to help folks like me? Who's going to get up here and challenge and fight all these cuts? SNAP just got cut in that big, beautiful bill. Medicaid just got cut in that big, beautiful bill. So if we don't, and Scott and I, we're the same age. I don't know if he turned 72 before me, or I turned 72 before him, but we both gonna end up being 72 years old. Okay, with that being said, in this modern age of technology and things that are moving, we need somebody who can think fast, who know what's going on, and can move with the trend, with the changes. And that's what we see.
And who's relatable.
Yes.
Not only to their cohorts, but to the younger generation as well, who can bridge
that. And that's right. What I love about Ariel. She's about bridging the merging the two, because she understands you need the wisdom, and you also need the energy and the wherewithal. And these young people, they can multitask. You watch that. They can multitask. But you got to remember, nobody was born a politician. Everyone had to have their first time. And then I'm hearing people who's running for office saying, oh, well, we need somebody experienced. But baby, you're not experienced. And you want people to vote for you. You never sat in a seat, but you up here talking about you want people to vote for you.
But you know what, Miss Patty, in that meeting yesterday, right? What was so impressive in sitting down in that meeting with Ariel's team yesterday is that they are so on point, right? And we in the bookstore, and I'm looking at two brothers. It was two brothers in the bookstore, right? One brother I was talking to, but what was so exciting is that it was another young man in there who Gwen had already been working with.
Yes.
Right? A USF graduate in computer science.
Right.
And told Ariel that, I was working with your mom, and I told her whatever she needed that I would give to her, right? That I would work for her. And he jumped on a team right there and stayed throughout the whole meeting. So when people talking about engaging young, that's what she brings to the table. And when people finally hear her voice, that's Ariel Danley. When people finally hear and see her mind and where she's at in terms of knowledge, I think this is going to be a game changer.
And you know, and what we're seeing and hearing people, I'm talking about, I'm just in awe that the seniors are saying it's time for a change. They're the ones who saying we're not going back. They're saying Bishop Thomas Scott, you served on the city council for 8 years. You served the county commission. You've been on the Tampa General board, and there was some scandal going on there about some $15,000, and we'll get more into that in another show that averted through your church. They're saying that and you've been on the sports authority. What more do you want? Why you won't just get out the way? Why don't you mentor? Why aren't you mentoring young people, mentoring people to take charge and take change? Because that clique want to keep everything to themselves and don't. But you know, the young people, they're coming by force.
Well,
they come. You don't have to give it to them.
Yeah, because I know one thing that I know for a fact, right? It was a young guy here who lives in Tampa, right? I watched him become a multi-million-dollar millionaire, right? And I was taking him around to certain people, like trying to introduce him to people, right? The young man went on and blew up, right? And when he blew up, I traveled with him for about 5 years, right? The young people really don't. The ones who know how to get knowledge, they really don't need the elders, but they respect them, right? And they know how to move, they know how to make their own money, they know how to do all of that, right? And they doing it. So the perspective that the older generation might have about some of these, now I'm not going to say all of them, but there's a majority of people, young people, who know how to do it.
And you know what I loved about Ariel, she's not saying I have no need of the older. I have no need of that. She's actually saying, I want that. Why should I go reinvent the wheel? Why should I put my hand on the stove when they already touched the stove and they know it's hot? So if the elder has told me it's hot, I'm going to take the elder's word. And that's respect, that's love, and that's wisdom. Because if a person saying that I can receive what you have and I can put in what I have, man, District 5, y'all going to see movement out there. You thought her mother, the late Councilwoman Henderson, in 15 months, I didn't realize it was 15 short months. And look what she accomplished in 15 short months when people such as Scott was there for 8 years and couldn't get the needle moving, couldn't get things, always had to be saying, even with Goose them, I'm working behind the scene. I remember the cemetery, Councilman Goose at the time, telling Noreen Copeland, acting like we still back in slavery day. Oh, don't come down here. Oh, you disturbing thing. You just stay on the down low. It's a done deal. We can't change it. But that one woman on that walking cane said no. That older woman, seasoned woman, say, this is how our people fought. We came and we made noise and we kept fighting till we got it done. And guess what? The cemetery is back in the hand of the community. But you had these guys. So why would we want to continue to recycle, continue to have people who really seem like they only have their own interests at heart? We do know that there was and this is a fact, one thing I don't sit here and talk about what I don't know, that the Mayor Jane Castor, I don't know why this shift, but Bishop Thomas Scott was on the sports authority board. He was on the board. Now, with that come with perks. When you sit on the sports authority, you get to go to the game. You get to give away free tickets to your friends, your colleagues, whomever. And I don't know the dynamics. I don't know why things change, but she removed him and she replaced him with Joe Robinson. So Joe Robinson sits on the sports authority board now. So now people are saying Scott has, he want to come back and claim his seat on the sports authority board by becoming a council member and asking to be, sit on that board. I don't know, but if come on now, buy your own tickets.
But here's another thing. I'm not even going to go that far. I'm going to go as of recent with Thomas
Well,
Scott.
this is recent. This just happened.
Well, okay. Well,
Very recent.
I'm
Okay,
gonna
but
say. I want to say this, right? I went to the late Gwendolyn Henderson's funeral,
Mhm.
right? Thomas Scott was there.
As a pastor.
He was there as a pastor because the media was there. Let's just say because the media was there. So you can show up for that. Now the camera's gone. You couldn't make it to the school board.
Yeah.
See that speaks to the character. This is the stuff I watch.
Say that. And folks,
You know what I mean? This is the stuff that I watch.
But
how you move,
right? And I want you to come back and address that again because I think that's profound. What you just said. But the phone number, folks, and how you feel about young people. Do you think it's time for a change? You think it's time for refreshment? Because if you look out there in District 5 and downtown, you see that it's young people that has come from other places and they've got things moving. The phone number here, people, you can call in. You can also watch us on YouTube and what all these other things because we are a podcast now. And we want to thank Deacon Patty for getting our, what you call a banner out, and it looks very nice. The number here is 813-728-1522. That's 813-728-1522. And I want to hear from some of these young folks out there, anybody, seniors, how do you all feel about District 5? Are you really just stay stuck in the mud and let things be as it has always been? Are you willing to move the needle forward? But I want to come back to you about the funeral because he was there. He wasn't on program, but he was able, but because he's a pastor, he was able to walk in with the media watching, able to sit in the pulpit with the media watching, come out with the media. Then, as you say, a call went out to the whole community to come down to the school board, and he was a no-show.
Was a no-show. And this is what
wow.
These are the things that you have to look at. This is what I look at in people, how you move, right? And anybody, I always say that if you don't necessarily have to be in the street, but if you're in the street doing illegal stuff, you pay attention to stuff like that. How people walk, how people move, who they hang with, what's their connections to different things. And here it is. This clearly shows again that he could have showed up with the cameras off. If he wants to be in this leadership seat, right? He could have came down there, and that's just as important to show up when the camera's off with all the people.
And that was the decent thing to do, to pay homage to someone who had done great things. The white people came out. The principal came out from Jefferson and we want to say kudos to them. But the auditorium will be named after her. But that's what people have to start looking at. How selfish are people who want to lead you? Is it all about them? All about them and their family? You need to see if a person has not been walking the walk and talking the talk out here among you, haven't been doing anything, haven't been trying to get, because I haven't seen it, wasn't showing up to none of the thing. Heart, did he come to? I was in all the heart meeting. You were there.
Yeah, no heart meeting. No. When the last time you've been at the city county meeting? Maybe once or twice. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and
maybe
they asked him to come pray.
You know,
give the prayer, but on issues, standing up on issues. And since he's seasoned and since he can hit the ground running, you would think people who had been and let's go back to Goose and now the late Councilman Frank Reddick, he was still lending his voice until he was sick and couldn't do it anymore and passed away. Okay, we're gonna take this caller. Caller, you say what's really happening.
Good morning, Bishop. Good morning, Game Changer. It's been a few weeks, but I'm finally able to take a little time to get in. I was on your call, on your show the last day when Gwen Henderson was on. I remember her daughter, Ariel, joining in, coming on first.
Yes.
And then the late Gwen Henderson came on. One of the things that I remember Oriel saying, and I put it in the chat, so go back and watch whoever needs to see it. She said you'll be able to hold your head up high. I don't live in District 5. Our church is in District 5, but one of the things that I find that we need to be able to do as a people, as a country, as just human beings in this time, is being able to hold our head up high. So that's the only thing I wanted to add as far as, everything with District 5 and its growing need is make sure that whichever direction you're going, that you're able to hold your head up high. So I just wanted to be able to add that in. And you guys are doing a wonderful job of keeping us all informed. And so I just want to commend you both for continuing to be on the toll to keep us informed and engaged and on that battlefield. So have a wonderful rest of your day, both of you.
You too.
And God bless you and thank you. And that's what it's all about. She said it and she gave it. They started talking about that last call that when the councilwoman called in and gave me chill. But we need someone who can hold their heads up high, who has no not in a clique, but would be and her campaign is for the people. We the people. It's for the people. Her campaign slogan is the people. It's not about, oh, let me list the honorable this person and the honorable that person and this clique. It's about the people. And she's strategically and wanting to be inclusive of everyone. She know what the different parts of this district is all about. And that's what we need, a game changer. That's what we need is a game changer to move it forward. And those of you who don't live in District 5, like I don't, but I have a whole lot of relatives. I have church members, I have friends, and I am encouraging them to be wise about what you're doing. Don't get caught up in all this old school. And it was something I was listening at this pastor this morning, and he was saying people are caught up in religion. It was a pastor, he's jumping up and down, and to the point where he fell off the pulpit because he's jumping up and down. He was entertaining the people. It was, you never heard a word about salvation. It was just and flipping it back, because that's what people have gotten used to go, oh, hey me, but nothing came out. There was nothing coming out. And so that's about tradition and religion, tradition, what people used to do just to get you. Well, man, he was showing. Well, what did she say? Or he said, I don't know, but he jumped off and fell on the floor and rolled around. People, it's time out. It's time out. We got to feed our people.
We need some real information. And and going back to Bishop Scott, thinking about how he showed up at the funeral, but didn't show up at the dedication of her having her name on that auditorium. Is like, let me take advantage of her death.
Yes.
What at a sad moment, right? If you really appreciate it, right? But the thing is, why did you even show up? You know what I mean? If you really cared, right, during the death period time of it, you would have shown up to complete the task for this naming. Right?
And I'm glad you said that, because it might be a young lady by it, but she's a seasoned lady by the name of Fran Tate, who would probably be saying, well, I showed up. I came to the wake. You were asked to leave, miss. You were so disrespectful, because they knew how when the councilwoman won the election, she wouldn't even speak to Gwen. Gwen tried to speak to her, tried to say, hey, let's work together. She wouldn't even speak, but you show up at the wake, you asked to leave, and you say you're not going anywhere, so you had to be asked to leave. People had to drag her, tell her, get out, you're not want to hear back. And so those are not the kind of people you need to represent you, disrespectful people. Go ahead, Colin. You say what's really happening.
Bishop Michelle B. Patty.
Yes, sir, Mr. Robinson.
John Green.
Yes, sir, my bro.
Keeping it real, man. Let me just say this, man. This is old school versus new school. And old school want to tell new school, you ain't got no experience because you can't hit the ground running. And us people that are old school and new school say you can hit the ground running and run into a brick wall and end up with the FBI with handcuffs on you down there talking about zoning, land use, charging people backdoor deals. We don't need no more of that. We don't need people getting $15,000 and then saying that they didn't know it and they didn't set nothing up now. Record speaks for itself. So if you got a record of experience of doing things that ain't right, then why we want to put you back in there because you got no integrity, even though you claim you got integrity. So this thing here is about old school versus new school. You young folks, you middle-aged folks, get out and vote for Ariel Dandy. Now, get out there now, support them. Do what you got to do. We got to have a new wave. Don't worry about what they say. Don't worry about what they do. And she's done very well this first report with raising funds. The opposition ain't raised no funds, but she's doing good. And she's got a good heart, and she's got a good mind, and the girl is smart. No, she don't know everything, but she got people like me and others that's helping her. Experienced veterans. I challenge anybody out there. Veterans is helping her. Not rookies, not amateurs, and not corrupt people. Because we need somebody that's going to really represent District 5 and please take us to the next level and not to the lower level. And that's all I'm going to say. Bishop, have a nice day. I got to get back out here and get to work.
And Joe, thank you so much. And you know, hey, he don't need to say nothing else. He said it all. And that's what people got to understand. This is your community, your district. You wanted to look like Channelside. You wanted to look like West Tampa's on the move. I go through West Tampa. I'm all in I grew up right there in Hyde Park. And I'm just looking at Hyde Park, West Tampa. And parts of Hyde Park is in the district. And people, those of you who vote by mail. If you vote by mail, you need to be calling in or going online to make sure that that ballot is sent to you, because it's not going to automatically be sent. You have to request it. Every election, they try to make it harder and harder for us to vote. So if you voting by mail, call in for that ballot so you'll have it. And then, of course, they're going to do early voting. And then the election itself is on September the 9th. Young people, if you're not registered, people that has not registered, you might have been purged. If you have not been voting, you have been purged from the list. Like a lot of people, well, I registered. Well, when did you vote? Well, I can't remember. But you need to check and see what your status is. And if you're not registered, you need to get registered so you can vote in this very important election for District 5. District 5, you all are having progress moving out there. They're building apartments with culinary classes in them. They're building, having somewhere people can really afford these places. And there were some things that the councilwoman was working on. Suffolk Spring, she did not forget about you all out there. She was making sure that kids was receiving snacks and stuff, looking to the swimming pool. There's a whole litany of things that was being moved, and Ariel is going to go in there and continue to get things moved. Who cared? Nobody ever cared about Suffolk Spring. But here, the councilwoman was out there doing her due diligence. So people, if y'all want to keep it moving, don't listen to that sour grapes that they got out there. Those ones who wants to keep up foolishness. It's about you. Back to Fran Tate. Fran Tate, you were told at the when they did the Hannah, the Juneteenth celebration, this is not where you need to be talking about you running for office, because the people were mourning the councilwoman. They were signing this big old beautiful poster with her name and putting little things on. And people told her they didn't want to talk about her running for office. Right then, she already knew. But then you come to the wake. And God is so good, because John, I couldn't do both. I couldn't, my spirit, I just couldn't go to the wake. It's like two funerals for me. So I didn't go to the wake, but I would start receiving phone calls. And it was good that I was not at the wake, because I don't know what I might have said or done with Fran Tate being so disrespectful, being so ugly at her wake. And so God had me where I couldn't be there. And that's why I never challenge God when he say, be still or don't do anything, don't go. Because if I'd have gone, I probably gotten out of character. And that wasn't, the place of the time to do it. But for you to have to be asked several times, ma'am, leave. We don't want you here. You're not welcome. You didn't like her in life. Don't come here now with your foolishness.
So-
and it's just sad.
So there go Fran Tate and Thomas Scott taking
Advantage, of the
taking
media.
taking of the media and being an opportunist.
Opportunist.
Right? That you know, and it's sad, you know, because I mean, just like she was there, she could have came down to the school board meeting, right? If it's about, you know, what the situation called for in that moment that you was present in.
But she
right?
was definitely an opportunist because in life, as head of the CRA out there, the neighborhood, watch whomever. And I just said this to a candidate who called me to say she was signing up and she was going to be running, but she wanted me to hear from her. She was being respectful of my position and who I am, and I appreciated that. And I told her that. I said, whomever sit in that seat, we're going to work with that council person because that person will be representing that district. But those folks out there couldn't do that. They want to call her out a name. They want to be nasty at the mouth, not realizing who you hurting. You're hurting yourselves
in our community.
Yes, because look at West Tampa. That Publix is going to be on the corner right there. I think it's Main and Boulevard.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost ready.
Mm-hmm.
I passed it. I couldn't believe my eyes. Though, and then on the corner of Main and Albany, there's a big sign, CRA. They doing something right there on that corner of Main and Albany. Joe, call me back and let me know what's going to be built there. But the CRA is moving the needle in every area but over here. And I think they have the millions of dollars in East Tampa, but they cannot move the needle because guess what? You got your cliques. You're fighting against each other. I bring my group in this year. I move you out as president. Next year, you bring your group out. You move me out. And nobody get. And the powers to be don't even want to work with them because they're so vulgar over there, so mean and hateful, so jealous-hearted. So the people just bypass them and go.
It speaks to the stagnation of what's going on in East Tampa. Right. It's stuck. It's stuck in its own mess.
Yes.
Right? It's stuck in its own mess and it can't move the needle. And the conversation is the same conversation. But I gotta say this, right? Because it's what I seen and I was there and I went. Now, aside, and this goes to the Greeks, and y'all know who I'm talking about, the D9 or all them organizations, except for the Deltas.
Yes.
Right? I gotta say this. Now, I don't know who else is in this race, who's in the Greek, right? Who's in one of the fraternity or whatever, but Ariel is the only one in there who's a Greek, right? And the unofficial brothers and sisters, or however y'all call it, whatever y'all call yourself to one another, as a D9, as a collective, right? Now you have one of your own in there. I want to see if y'all come out and support her like you supported the NAACP, who has no connection to any of the Greeks other than let's get out here when it's time to vote and all that, because that's truly the only time she uses y'all. And I understand that y'all gonna use her too for the space, but I want to see how you come out for one of your own. You know, right? And I'm just speaking the facts, right? This is a fact, right? Aside from everything else, let me see if you can support your own versus coming out for somebody who haven't even went through what it took to make it to be in a Greek organization.
And I felt that's what they're supposed to be about. I don't know. I'm not one in none of those secret meetings, but I thought it was about supporting and helping and doing, because I remember when Kamala Harris ran for for the presidency, they came out the sneakers and the AKAs, and then they pull, that's that right. Circle. But are the Greeks gonna? That's a better question.
Yeah,
because you came out for Yvette Lewis, the NAACP, and they came out and say we're here for her,
Right.
not the community,
not for the NAACP.
no, not for the NAACP,
but for her,
because she's giving us free rent out here where we're not supposed to be. We're illegally doing stuff, and we support being illegal. So, John, I'm not going to hold out hope that they're going to do the right thing. I'm glad you're saying that.
Because I want to be real. I want to be real about
I'm not going to hold out hope for people who will champion doing wrong and the illegal stuff to come out and do what you would think they're supposed to do it in charter or whatever.
Right.
But before we get out of here though, and people, we're almost out of time. The number here is 813-728-1522. You need to call right now because we're being counted down. But I was been getting so much negative emails and phone call about Joanna Colbert. They say she used to have a show. I never watched it. I'm being honest. Selling Tampa Bay. Was that it?
Selling Tampa
Bay. And they say she run with the elitists of Tampa. She came from I don't know where, but Ohio. Okay, good. She came from Ohio, and she had no relationship in District 5 other than to buy property and sell it. And it's questionable. It's very questionable if she lived where she put an address. Allegedly. That's what I'm saying. Okay, it's allegedly. Questionable. That's what it means. Questionable, right. Allegedly, that she lived on, is it Louisiana? Louisiana, because people, her neighbors, listen good, her neighbors are saying she live in New Tampa. That's what her neighbors are saying. I don't know, but this is what her neighbors are saying. She do not live there. That's one of her properties that she had purchased to sell. Rental properties, one of her rental properties. That's what your neighbors are saying. But they see you, sweetheart. They say they see you every night. You live out here in New Tampa. I don't know, but I'm pretty sure that that's going to be investigated. And if you don't, people, listen good. I'm gonna give you this for free. Those of you that are running, those that are you aspiring to run, if you got a lot of negative baggage, whether it's on your husband, close, whatever, you need to think twice, because these folks do a background. These medias, they even pull your FBI check on you. They do all of that. So they track down why you might have a whole bunch of LLCs. Why you got that many? Where they at? What you doing? They get into your business. I don't know this young lady, but the stuff that's been coming out, the county commissioner Michael Owens, I don't know. But I'm telling you, sweetheart, I don't know. But if I was you, I would definitely, if it ain't true, then hey, keep walking with your head up, blah, blah, blah. But if there's any of this that is true, you need to evaluate and sit down with your family. I don't know if does she have any children, anything?
I don't know. I don't know about the children, but you know, it's like it's just a lot of information what I'm saying on her. Is
you need to sit down with your family unit and decide, is it worth it to have stuff exposed that might hurt my business, might hurt my family, might hurt my children. So these are the things that not just you, Ms. Colbert, but everyone that is in this race, do an evaluation. Go Google yourself, go do your own background, see if anything that's on your record. You know how they tell you to check your credit record every now and then, your credit with the credit bureau, to make sure stuff not on there that's not right. And then they also said that her money has come from out of the state. You have that?
Yeah.
Tell us where some of that money coming from.
Let me see. She got some coming from. She got some Kernersville, North Carolina, Broadman, Ohio, Windermere, Florida, Riverview, Florida, Shreveport, Louisiana, Indianapolis, Sarasota. There's some more. I left the other copy.
Okay, but we gonna continue to talk about these candidates, where money coming from, because right there's a good indication that she is not connected with the with
community.
that District 5. Now, let me tell you something else, and I don't know. I didn't see it with my own two eyes, but I got a phone call. They say she used to have her espresso in the Richie Poo community, but now they say she was on video having coffee in Suffolk Spring. See, I wasn't there, but people are watching and they're seeing your move, and they're seeing that you're trying to pull the wool over the people's eyes. But I have faith, John, in the people of District 5, that they are saying enough is enough. They're saying that we have awakened. The sleepy giant is awoke now, that we looking around. We want better for ourselves. We want better for our children. We are pulling ourselves up by the bootstrap. We're going to keep moving. We're not going back. We're not going back. We're going to tell the man up there in the White House, we're not going back. We're not being forced out to the field. And we're going to have leadership that would speak to everyone, leadership that would encompass everybody, because that vote is not just for District 5. When Ariel sits on that dais, she got to look at vote for other parts of the city. You got to have a collaboration with others people. And I do have TNJ, those of you that like to scrutinize me not pronouncing words, this and that. I have TNJ. But people need to know, so that when they're trying this bash and say stuff, that they don't look like a fool. So we just do that.
Ariel, but about
Yes.
Ariel, right? A lot of people think that these young people is not going to be engaged, but I think they're going to be surprised. I think they're going to be surprised,
because John, there are so many young people, and all young people are not selling drugs. All young people are not gang banging. You got some young people that are multimillionaires. You got some young people that are on the way. You have some young people that sitting in those new high-rise, paying $3,000 a month for rent, and they're getting it the honest way. They're realtors. They're all kind of people. Doctors, they're in school. I mean, it's just a mind-boggling.
How much time we got?
Okay.
Let's what about this doctor who entered the race?
Yeah.
Right?
Did he sign? I don't know if he signed it yet.
Well, I don't know if he signed it, but if he does, the name sound familiar, and I think I seen his face. I'm on this. I was on this. It's called Transit Now, right? And it's ran by this girl named Dana Sparkle, right? And she's connected with Her Tech, and I think Councilwoman Her Tech. Okay. They all connected, and I think this is the group that he's coming out of, right? Oh, wow. Because I think his face looked familiar, because I seen him speak one day at one of these things. But it's called Transit Now, and that's who he is, and that's the connection to that, if I'm correct. So,
I also heard that his doctor office is actually in Plant City. Someone who say they know him. So I don't know where he live at. I don't know if he gonna sign up, but he did. He actually sent me a text giving his bio, and he's going to run, but I have not seen him yet sign up. But hopefully he won't. Come on, people, everybody y'all can run, but let's have the serious people who really care about this district, not just trying to get your name out there, not trying to get publicity, not trying to fight old vendettas, not coming up there with stuff that you mad because you was taken off a board, or you or they say you stole money when you was over here. No, we don't need any of that. Let's start fresh, a fresh anointing. That's what we need in District 5. We need a fresh anointing. People, the Cash App is $ Michelle B. Patty. You could also find us on YouTube. We have this podcast. Once again, we want to thank Deacon Patty for making sure that we're seen here this morning. If it's God will, we're going to be back next week. But we're going to ask you all, please go tomorrow. Tomorrow, you're not doing anything, and support Aaron's house. The doors are open at 4 p.m. The program started, the fashion show extravaganza started exactly at 5 p.m. The phone number is 813-732-1180. So if you need tickets, and you can always go to www.runwaynoir for tickets. Let's show up. God's will, we will be there, John, on tomorrow for this event, a worthwhile event. And to those of you that are caregivers, we're going to keep you lifted up in prayer, and we're going to for your strength. And we want to say commend you for stepping in those shoes to be that caregiver. And we don't have, in the old days, that's what Black families, especially Black families, we took care of one another. You didn't put your loved one into a nursing home unless it was just absolutely necessary, when you couldn't do it anymore. But we're going to have to go back to seeing about and taking care of one another. And that's what Councilwoman Henderson did, took care of her mother until her mother passed away. And Ariel, Sonia, all, and I can't think of all this, the sister's name. Y'all know who y'all are, but they was a family. This one here would bring dinner and breakfast and stuff. They took care of their family, and that's what really drew me to them. That they didn't throw mom out. They took care.
How they helped? Was Gwen connected with the was it the Aaron's house? Or?
No, Gwen helped. Was supported for the Aaron house once she got in there. No, Gwen was doing it on her own with her family, with her family. And I'm just so mad I can't think of her other sister's name. But it's a couple of them, and they also taking care of their brother who have he's sick, and it's just a family love.
So Gwen just was volunteering her time.
Yeah, she
used
her seat to help these organizations, such as the skill center.
Right.
There's a mural that's going to be, and Gwen had a hand in making that. So we're going to find out the date when the unveiling of the mural at the skill center. So when Gwen got in there, Gwen went to work, trying to see where use her office to help organization get money, do stuff. This who she was. And I just think, frankly, she just worked herself in those 15 months trying to be doing everything like an octopus.
Get the ball rolling.
Getting things done, because people who sat for 8 years didn't do it, and it was so much decay. And it was 2 councilmen that I'm going to be forever grateful that I do know was doing something. That was the former councilman Kevin White and the late councilman Frank Reddy. And they were not liked by all because they were the people. The poor people, middle class people, the upper crust do not like council people, county commissioner, state representative who come and love on you, do for you. They want them to be stuck up. They the honorable this and that, and they walk with their heads up and their behind on top of the shoulder. But those people, they weren't like that. They was everyday people who walked among the people. What you need, how can I help? Gwen Henderson even rode on the bus with Pete Everett to see what was going on in the district, to talk to the everyday people. This what she did, and this was Ariel is doing. She's riding around in a mom go-kart, just like a mom did. She's out there. So Ariel, don't you let nobody turn you around. Don't you let nobody, because they might be older than you, tell you what you can't do, because we've all been told that. When y'all was told that that bookstore would not thrive in a deprived, Black, neglected community, her mama, what they named her and her mother, Black English book. Now that was saying something. That was saying we are Black and we want everybody to know we Black. Man. And that bookstore, I gotta say this, that Black bookstore garnered national attention. I'm so glad it did before Gwen passed away. National attention, and the people are coming in. And guess what? A lot of them who walk in those doors do not look like.
Hey, we was in there watching. Oh, somebody came in there yesterday and brought 10 books.
Okay, 10 books. Hey. So people, if your child, especially for the summer, you need to take your kids over to Black English Bookstore, 401 East Oak. They got books for, you bought a book out of there for the men. They have books for children. They have all kinds, even the toilet training. I bought a book for my granddaughter for toilet training. They have so many different books. She thought about everyone. Go in and just see how beautiful the store is set up. And Ariel, like I say, she's a co-owner of the store there still, so she could walk, chew bubble gum, and she is, she's on the ball.
They'll
And-
see for themselves.
Okay,
They'll see for
but
themselves.
what I like, because I'm being transparent, John.
Right.
I'm not gonna be like other folk. Oh, you come to our forum knowing it's a setup, knowing who you support, knowing that all you want to do is try to embarrass people, try to strip people down, and do all that. When you done been on TV telling folk who you really endorsing support for. So people, don't be fooled. Don't get caught up in the silliness. And if it's God will, see us back here on next Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Deep, we thank you for allowing us to go over a few minutes. They getting on me about my time, but it's just so much information we want to give out. The only reason we sit in these seats, folks, and we take the heat that we take, and we know that somebody on Facebook talking about us now, is because we love you. And the reason we love you, because God loved us first, and that's who we are.
And
God's
that's
people.
what's really happening.